Hey guys, welcome back to the Aspie world. I've been getting loads and loads of comments from you guys asking about a video for relationships and Aspergers Syndrome. So today guys, we're going to be doing a video on relationships and Aspergers Syndrome. Now I am currently in a long-term relationship. I haven't really had any like short relationships or promiscuous relationships. So basically people, I guess, ask me questions all the time on, is it difficult being in a relationship with someone with Aspergers Syndrome? Well, I don't know because I'm not in a relationship with somebody with Aspergers Syndrome. I have the condition and my partner is the person who has to live with a person who has that condition. So I guess they would be the best person to talk to. On the upside though, I do know that she has answered a lot of questions for people via Twitter and Facebook for me in regards to this question. Okay, so basically in a relationship with someone with Aspergers Syndrome, I guess it's very stressful. I think the main issue for us is that Naomi will say something, but I don't understand what she's saying. This is kind of really difficult because she'll repeat something and she'll say it quite a few times, and especially if it's an argumentative situation, if she's talking to me about something that she's really concerned about, and I'm trying my best to kind of understand what she's saying, but I can't really understand it and it doesn't absorb. So it does become very frustrating because she doesn't understand that. It's difficult because for anybody watching who is on the other side, who hasn't got Asperger's Syndrome, but who have a neurotypical mindset, then it's difficult for them to understand what's going on, but I'll try and explain it. And it's kind of like you're concentrating so much on what's going on because you're so worried that it's gonna go wrong that you have no idea what they're saying. It takes a lot for me to listen to somebody and listen to some instruction or listen to a question that somebody has in real life, you know, like when a face-to-face, it's very difficult to kind of process that information. When I'm actually looking at somebody and I'm trying my best to focus on what they're saying, I'm like concentrating so much on having to look straight at this person, looking in their eyes, make sure that, I don't know, am I doing the right facial expression? All these things come into it, and on top of that, I'm trying to focus my hardest on understanding what they're saying, but it doesn't always work. So that is one of the main issues. Another issue is that my meltdowns are quite bad, and when I have a meltdown, and everybody, if you don't know what an autism meltdown is, you can click the link above and you'll see my video on autism meltdowns. And I kind of hit my head a lot and I pull my hair out, and I have been known to punch things like walls and objects and things like that. And I don't try these things, you know, they're not something that I actually want to do, but they do happen, you know, I've broken bones and things. And it must be very distressing for my partner to see because you don't want to see your partner go through that. I think what that is kind of very difficult as well, so they don't understand the difficulty. But if I were to say it, it's kind of like when I'm coughing or I'm sneezing or I'm hot, I don't like anybody to touch me, I don't like people touching me and stuff. So it gets very difficult when if I'm in a meltdown, my partner's trying to like calm me down or try and touch me and stuff. That's a no-go. So don't touch somebody if they're having a meltdown or they're having an autism episode. Just leave them to it, let them cool down, because the worst thing you can do is touch them because it's not a good thing. I can't explain why, but it just isn't. And so that goes again for the same for the other things like sneezing and coughing and things like that. I find it quite distressing. It's overwhelming because it's sensory overload and it stops my train of thought. So it's something that's involuntary and I don't know when it's going to come. So like hiccups and sneezing and stuff, these things like really annoy me. On that same path, things that like annoy me on a daily basis, like lights and sounds, and I'm affected by words, but I'll do another video on all those kind of things another time. But obviously I might sound snappy or I might sound grumpy or moody, and then my partner would be like, hey, why are you grumpy and moody with me? And I'm like, oh, I'm not grumpy and moody with you. And then they don't understand how you can be kind of like happy 1 minute and then like instantly sad or instantly upset, but then you go back to normal very quickly. It's just something that happens. My advice would just be to stick it out and just see what happens. Just let them come back to normality. Another thing is when we're arguing, I can just like say, okay, cool, I understand why we argued. Once I understand the situation, and then I go, okay, cool. And I'm kind of cool, just happy leaving it. That's cool. I just go, okay, that's everything. But with Naomi, she finds it very hard to kind of just go, oh my goodness, you know, we had this huge, massive argument, and now all of a sudden you're just cool with everything. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm cool with everything. So that's something that, again, a neurotypical person will probably find very odd, that someone with Asperger's or autism can go back from being completely kind of chaotic to just being really chilled out and mellow. But again, it's just something that happens. Living with somebody on the autism spectrum, I guess one of the main things that Naomi wanted to do when we moved into this house is that I would have a place where I could go and lock myself away so I have my own time. And this is advice I give out a lot of time because people with Asperger's Syndrome, I guess, and I can speak from experience, like to have some space from people all the time, because it's nice having a partner, and yes, you love them, and yes, you'll spend time with them, but it's also nice to have that distance from it, because being alone really helps me relax, and doing my own thing helps me relax. Not being on my own in solitary confinement, I mean just being on my own with my interests, you know, like research, UFO research, or watching documentaries and things like that really helps me relax and get my head in order. A space where someone can go, maybe suggest it to your partner that you have a space or a time where you'll leave the house and then they'll have their space for themselves, because that's very, very important. Another thing is that people always have this misconception that people with Asperger's syndrome can't love somebody or they can't be in a relationship with somebody, which is absolute nonsense. You know, you can be attracted to somebody. You know, it may not be the conventional way that you express attraction or love. I believe that people just need to kind of relax a bit with it, I guess. So if you're like dating someone with Asperger's syndrome, or you are thinking about asking somebody with Asperger's syndrome out, I would say that you can just need to research the subject a lot, and don't worry too much if they don't always buy you flowers, or they don't always buy you gifts, or they don't always kind of woo you, I guess is the more conventional way of doing romantic things. I have found through experience that, hey look, I'm not romantic in the normal sense, but I still have romance. I try my best to kind of fit into these social norms, but it's very difficult because I don't know what is accepted, you know. I find flowers and things pointless because you buy them and then they just die. So for example, on Valentine's Day, I normally would find something for Naomi that would be like productive. So if Naomi wanted a flashlight or a torch, as we call it in the UK, then I would probably Valentine's Day, I'd maybe buy her a torch that was also a USB pen that has like dual functionality, or something that has some second use or multi-functions, because like I just think we live in a practical society. We need, you know, practical things like that people kind of don't normally expect to have as romantic gifts, but it's just difficult for me to get my head around other things. Anyway guys, being in a relationship with somebody with Asperger's is very difficult, but it's very rewarding at the same time, because somebody with Asperger's syndrome is always very loyal, always very truthful, always very honest, and will always be there for you in times of need. I feel like I can definitely step out of situations, because I guess some people with Asperger's syndrome do lack a bit of empathy, so it's easy for me to step out of situations and see something from a logical point of view when the situation is not happening to me. But that is a good thing and a bad thing also. Okay guys, so if you're dating with somebody with Asperger's syndrome, I guess the key things is that you really need to just be patient, give them some space, less touching in emotional and stressful situations, a place for them to cool down and just have their time, you know, and that would definitely help. Understanding that they're not always going to show affections in the most conventional ways. Also, just as a side note, something that we came across when we were in an Asperger's talk by a specialist in Asperger's syndrome is that she said, hey girls, if you have a boyfriend with Asperger's syndrome and you want to get married, or you want that holiday, or you want an engagement ring, then just ask them for it, because hey, they're not going to think about it themselves. And it's true, it's not something that you kind of think about, because maybe my mind's just full up with other things. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to do those things, it just means that I haven't come to the conclusion on my own yet, but it's something that I would do if you suggest it. So make sure that if you do want something, lay some heavy hints down for your partners. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to check out any of the other videos I've got on Asperger's and Help, please click on this link above and it'll take you to a playlist where I have all the videos on ASD Help. As always, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook in the links below. If you want to get in touch or have anything to add to this video, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Games, what board games you can play kind of like just randomly with your friends, but I'll show you the desk so you can see what it's like. So cool that we got Noe's setting up people's settlements there.
No, that's mine.
That's yours. You put yours all the way over there. Oh, we put two down.
You put two down.
Oh, crud.
You allow
okay, so that's what I do. Right.